Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Nissan Z Performance. We're going to find out if this is worth upgrading to instead of getting the Sport, and then we're also going to find out if this is better than the Supra. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Ken Garf Nissan here in Salt Lake for giving me some time with the Z. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. Ask for Paul if you have any questions. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter V6 that goes through a 6-speed manual. Fuel economy is 18 around town, 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 400 horsepower and then 350 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. This bright blue color, I think, works on the Z quite well, and just bright colors in general. And then look at the headlight design here. I think that's one of the coolest features on the new Z, just how they've shaped that. And then you got metallic gray for the grille, and so putting it all together, again, not a lot happening with the design cues, but that's a nice thing. A lot of modern cars are just overcomplicated with the design. Now, our tire wheel setup is 255 by 40 by 19 in the front, and then 275 by 35 by 19 in the rear, so staggered setup. Now, you've got the cool red brake calipers with the Performance because you do get upgraded brakes with this package. And then you'll notice with the mirror caps and then the door handle, all of that's painted to match. You got a little Z logo there on the side. And by the way, this does have keyless entry in terms of a nice kind of creature feature. Anyways, look at that silhouette. That's beautiful. This leads us to the key fob here where we've got a lock and unlock function. You got the Nissan logo as well. Now the popper for the trunk is just right here under the Nissan word in the logo. It is a hatchback, not super deep with the floor here in the back, but it does have a decent amount of space for a sports car. Now, speaking of sports car, we got a spoiler here on the back, which is another cool detail in the Performance that's added. You've got a cool look for the taillights, got the little Z logo, and then we've got a nice finish on the exhaust tips as well. And then let me give you guys a little kind of 3/4 angle on the car. Come on, camera, don't die on us now. There we go, look at that, that's pretty. This leads us inside where we've got soft touch up top. Down below, we've got this nice kind of like suede. Windows are automatic, your little mirror adjustment. Let's quick look at the mirrors themselves. This one is blind spot monitoring. And then these front seats are nice. The kind of suede there in the center. They are power adjustable, but the power adjustment's here on the side, which is kind of funny. And then you do have the 3-pedal layout because it's manual. So instead of a Nissan logo, we got a Z logo there on the center of the steering wheel. We've got our volume controls on the one side, adaptive cruise control on the other side. You've got regular stocks there on the back. And then you got nice trim around the steering wheel too, nicer than what you have in the Sport. Digital gauge cluster, which can display different information. You've got a little tab there on the side, which you can change what that shows. Backup camera in reverse, and a little bit ancient on the resolution, but you know, not bad. You got physical controls here for the infotainment system, radio controls on the other side. And then as for the screen itself, it's pretty self-explanatory for the most part in terms of the use. It responds decently well, but definitely kind of has a more dated feel, which is fine. It's a sports car, who cares? So up top, we got a boost gauge, we have a turbo speed gauge, and then finally we have our voltmeter as well with those 3 little dials. Single zone climate with this, and then you've got a little auto rev match function right there. You can turn on or off. Shifter for the manual transmission. And then this does come with heated seats. You've got that to open up the trunk, got a cup holder. That's nice with the center console. Nice trim on the top. More nice trim across the dash here as well. So here's a quick look at the window sticker for this Z, and you can see total MSRP $55,675. So this is like $11,000 more expensive than the Sport that I just drove. So I guess we'll see if it's $11,000 more car. Well, Nissan Z Performance. I can tell you the interior is definitely nicer than the Sport with the suede, and then like the steering wheels got nicer trim, and it definitely looks cooler than the Sport, so that's a big upgrade. And you know, compared to the Supra, this definitely feels a lot more unique, just the Z in general, because the Supra's just a BMW that's been rebadged and has different sheet metal on the exterior. Toyota did obviously do some tuning on it and everything, but still, it's basically a rebadged BMW Z4. Whereas this is a unique car. Gosh, I love this engine. It's peaky, which is, again, on like an SUV or a truck, you don't want that, but like in a sports car, it's fun to have the power up top. The Supra has so much low-end torque with that B58 that it's not boring by any means. It's still a fun car to drive, but it just kind of feels weird having just such a strong shove right off the bat. This though, it's like you want to rev it out. How do I know if the auto rev match is on or not? I guess I just press it. I guess I'll just see next time I upshift and downshift if it does it for me. I'll have to test that out. But aside from that, the seats are a little bit more comfortable in this too compared to the Sport. It's not like a huge difference, but there is a little bit of a, yeah, there's a little bit of a difference with the seats. I kind of like the leather and the suede a little bit more than the cloth. I almost think this almost sounds like louder, a little bit. Okay, let's see if it rev matches. Okay, that was definitely not a rev match, so I'll press it again. I haven't reviewed one of these in such a long time that I can't remember how half the features work. Okay, we'll try this again. Yeah, no, still not rev matching, huh? What am I doing wrong? User error, whatever. Didn't think we get 2 red lights in a row. That's not lucky. Compared to the Supra interior, I mean, some of you might like BMW's interiors, so like some of you might lean towards that. I kind of like Nissan's interior here because it's got some nice touch points, but it just works with the car. It makes sense to have kind of a more basic feel, certain elements, but then that's kind of what sports cars have always been about. It's like the important stuff. The steering wheel and the shifter has like nice trim, and then everything else, it's not like bad by any means, but it's more basic because it's like you're not gonna, you don't care to be wrapped in leather, right? You care about performance with the car. And the spacing in here is pretty nice. The Supra with its center console setup, I think, feels a little bit more cramped. It's not a huge problem, but yeah, it is something to note. I love this shifter too. I think I like this shifter substantially more than the Supra shifter with the manual, because the Supra is a BMW. BMW makes like the worst manual transmissions in terms of feel. They're just awful. Okay, no, that did rev match for me. I was like, there's no way I did that well. Gosh, I love the torque on this thing. Again, it's peaky, and it's perfectly peaky. That's what we'll call it. Yeah, so now, okay, so it is auto rev matching. So I did have it on. I just wasn't, I didn't think it was on because I wasn't going fast enough to get enough revs for it to make a substantial difference. It's a nice feature, right, for traffic. So, is this worth getting over the regular Z? If you have the money, yes. So there's your answer there. Is this better than the Supra? They're different beasts in a lot of ways. The Supra is a lot more expensive. So I think you got a value proposition here. And I think this feels, even though the performance might not be as good as the Supra, I feel like this feels a little bit more of a unique car, a little bit more of a unique experience as well. And so I think when you put that all together, the Z just kind of gives you a little bit more that the Supra doesn't offer. So I don't know, I kind of lean towards it. I think that like in 20 years, these are going to be much cooler. I mean, I think they're both be considered cool because they're both good sports cars, but I think the Z is going to probably age a little bit better, especially the style too. But let me know your thoughts.